In a small village in Ethiopia, there lived a poor man named Bekele. He was a farmer. He did not have much money, but he had something more important: love. His wife's name was Hana. She was very beautiful. Bekele and Hana loved each other very much. They were happy together. Their house was small. Their clothes were old, but every day they smiled. Every day they helped each other. Bekele worked hard in the fields. Hana cooked and cleaned the house. In the evening they sat together and talked. They laughed and dreamed. They did not need gold or big things. Their hearts were full of love. But one day, a man saw Hana. His name was Dawit. He was very rich and handsome. He lived in a big house near the village. He wore nice clothes and gold rings. He had many servants and horses. When Dawit saw Hana, he said to himself, "She is too beautiful to be the wife of a poor man. She should live with me. I will take her from Bekele." Dawit began to visit Bekele's house. He came only when Bekele was not home. Bekele was always working in the field, far away. When Dawit came, he smiled at Hana and said, "You are very beautiful, but your dress is old. Your husband does not buy you new clothes. Maybe he does not love you." Hana did not believe him at first. She smiled politely and said, "I am happy. My husband loves me." But Dawit came again the next day, and the next day. Every day he said the same things. "You are beautiful, but look at your clothes. They are so plain. If I were your husband, I would give you beautiful dresses. You would wear the best clothes in the country." At first, Hana ignored him, but slowly her heart changed. She started to think, "Why doesn't Bekele buy me a new dress? Maybe I am not important to him." That night, when Bekele came home from work, Hana was quiet. She did not smile. Bekele sat down and asked, "Is something wrong, Hana?" She looked at her dress and said, "My dress is old. I want a new one. Other women wear nice clothes, but not me." Bekele looked at her with love. He said, "You are the most beautiful woman in the world to me. You don't need a new dress." But Hana was not happy. She said, "If you really love me, buy me a new dress." Bekele felt sad. He had only a little money. He needed to buy a new plow for his work. But he wanted Hana to be happy. He wanted to show her that he loved her. So the next day, Bekele went to the market. He looked at many dresses. Some were too expensive. But finally he found a beautiful dress that he could buy. He used all his money and bought it for Hana. When he gave the dress to Hana, her face lit up with joy. She hugged him and said, "Thank you, my dear husband. Now I know that you love me." The next day, Dawit came again. Hana was wearing the new dress. She stood tall and smiled. "See this?" she said. "My husband gave it to me. He loves me very much." But Dawit did not stop. He smiled and said, "A dress is nice, but a good husband gives more than that. A good husband gives gold. Where is your necklace? Where are your rings? Your husband is still poor. He cannot give you gold, but I can." He opened a small box. Inside the box were gold rings and a gold necklace. They shone in the light. "Leave your husband," he said. "Marry me. I will give you gold. I will make you the most beautiful woman in Ethiopia." Hana looked at the jewelry. It was shiny and beautiful. But she shook her head and said, "No, I love my husband. He gives me what I need. We are happy." Dawit left that day, but he did not give up. He planned to return again, with more sweet words and more promises. And even though Hana said no, something deep inside her heart had started to feel unsure. After Hana received the beautiful new dress from Bekele, she was very happy. For some time, she smiled again and felt proud when she looked in the mirror. Bekele was glad too. He had used all his money, but he didn't regret it. His wife was happy, and that made him happy. But Dawit, the rich man, was not finished. A few days later, he came again to their home. He saw Hana wearing her new dress. She looked proud and beautiful. Dawit smiled and said, "That dress is nice. But clothes are not enough. A good husband also gives his wife gold. Where is your necklace? Where are your rings? You are beautiful, but your hands are empty. Your neck is bare. Hana was quiet. She looked down. Dawit slowly opened a small wooden box. Inside there was shiny gold. There were rings, a bracelet, and a necklace. They sparkled in the sunlight. Look at these, he said softly. These are for you. Leave your poor husband, marry me, and I will give you all this. You will be the most beautiful woman in the village. Hana said nothing. She closed the door, but her mind could not forget the gold. That night, when Bekele came home, he was very tired. His clothes were dirty from working in the fields. He smiled at Hana, but she did not smile back. There was no fire. There was no food. She sat on the floor, looking sad. What's wrong? Bekele asked gently. You don't love me, Hana said. Bekele was shocked. Hana, how can you say that? I love you more than anything. If you love me, then why don't you give me gold? She asked. Other women wear gold. I have nothing. Dawit said a true husband gives gold to his wife. Bekele stood silently. He had no more money. He had spent everything on her dress, but he loved her deeply. He wanted her to be happy. The next day, Bekele went to his brother's house. His brother was also a farmer, but he had more land and more money. Brother, Bekele said, I need your help. Please lend me some money. I will work in your rocky field. I will carry the stones. I will work until the debt is paid. His brother looked at him kindly and agreed. So Bekele began to work in his brother's field. The sun was hot. The ground was hard. There were many big stones. His hands were sore. His back hurt, but he did not stop. He worked with love in his heart, thinking only of Hana's smile. After a few days, he earned enough money. He went to the market and bought gold jewelry, a necklace and 2 rings. He walked home quickly, full of hope. When Hana saw the gold, her eyes became wide. She laughed and hugged her husband. Thank you, she said. Now I truly know you love me. That night, she cooked a special dinner. There was warm soup, fresh bread, and sweet tea. Bekele was happy. Hana was happy. The house was full of peace again. But once more Dawit came. This time, he did not talk about clothes or gold. You have clothes, you have jewelry, he said. But can your husband give you something greater? Can he give you miracles? Hana looked confused. Miracles? She asked. Only God makes miracles. No, Dawit said. Love can make miracles. If a man truly loves a woman, he can do anything, even miracles. Hana laughed nervously. That is not true. It is, Dawit said. If your husband cannot make a miracle for you, then he does not truly love you. But if you love me, I will show you real miracles. He walked away, leaving Hana in silence. The next day, Dawit came again, and the day after that. Every day, he said the same thing. Love makes miracles. Where is your husband's miracle? Hana's heart began to feel heavy again. She didn't understand what a miracle really was, but the words stayed in her mind. One evening, Bekele came home and saw that Hana was quiet again. She did not speak. She sat by the window, staring outside. What is wrong, my wife? He asked. She turned to him and said, I'm sad. Why? He asked. Because I don't think you love me. Bekele felt cold inside. How can you say that? He asked. I gave you a dress. I gave you gold. But you don't give me a miracle, she said. Dawit says if you really loved me, you would make a miracle for me. Bekele was shocked. He said nothing. His heart was full of pain. That night, he walked far into the dark fields. He looked up at the stars. The sky was wide and silent. He knelt down on the ground. Dear God, he whispered, I don't know what to do. I have given all I have. Please help me. Please show me a way. I need a miracle not for me but for my wife. Early the next morning, Bekele left his house while the sky was still dark. The stars were still shining and the village was quiet. His heart was heavy, but he walked quickly toward his brother's field. He needed to work. He needed to think. He needed help. When he arrived, he saw a large tree near the edge of the land. He walked over to it to sit down and rest for a while. But when he came close, he saw an old man sitting under the tree. The man had a calm face and kind eyes. "Good morning," Bekele said politely. "Who are you?" The man looked at him and said, "I am a wizard. I travel from place to place. I help those who are honest and full of love. I think you are one of them." Bekele looked surprised. "A wizard?" "Yes," said the old man. "You asked for a miracle. I came to bring it." The wizard opened a small bag and took out 2 wooden sticks. They looked simple, but the wizard spoke with great care. "These sticks have magic," he said. "If you touch someone with the first stick, they will turn into a donkey. If you touch them with the second stick, they will become human again." Bekele was shocked. He held the sticks and stared at them. "Are you serious?" he asked. "Yes," the wizard said. "Use them wisely. Do not harm anyone without reason. And remember, true love is stronger than magic." Bekele thanked him many times and walked back home, holding the 2 sticks tightly in his hands. At home, Hana was in the kitchen. Bekele called out, "Hana, come here. I want to show you something." She came outside curious. "What is it?" Bekele said, "This is a miracle." He touched her gently with the first stick. In 1 second, Hana changed into a donkey. She looked around, confused. She tried to speak, but only a loud hee-haw came out of her mouth. Her eyes were wide with fear. Then Bekele touched her again with the second stick. In 1 second, she turned back into a woman. She looked at her hands. She looked at Bekele. Her face was full of shock. That was real. She said, "You made a miracle." Bekele nodded. "Yes, I asked God for help, and he answered. But now I must use this gift to stop the person who wants to destroy our love." Hana lowered her eyes. "You mean Dawit," she said softly. "Yes," Bekele said. "He came to our house. He put strange thoughts in your mind. He told you to ask for clothes, then for gold, then for a miracle." Tears filled Hana's eyes. She looked down in shame. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "It's true. He said all those things, and I listened, but I don't want to leave you. I don't want to marry him. I want to stay with you forever." Bekele smiled gently and handed her the first stick. "Then take this. When he comes tomorrow, you will know what to do." The next day, Dawit came again, smiling confidently. "Did your husband give you a miracle yet?" he asked. Hana smiled back, calm and sure. "Yes," she said. Then she touched him with the first stick. In a second, Dawit turned into a donkey. His golden rings fell to the ground. He tried to speak, but he could only say, "Hee-haw." Hana took the donkey by a rope and brought him to the fields where Bekele was working. "Now," she said, "he can help you carry stones." From that day on, the donkey worked in the hot sun. He carried heavy rocks from the field. He brought flour from the market. He worked every day, just like Bekele. Months passed. Then years passed. Bekele and Hana were no longer poor. They had good food, a nice house, and a peaceful life. The donkey helped them become rich, but slowly the donkey became tired. His body grew weak. He moved slowly. His eyes were full of sadness. One morning, Bekele looked at the donkey and felt sorry. He went inside the house, took out the second stick, and touched the donkey. In 1 second, Dawit became a man again. But now he was old. His back was bent. His hair was white. His hands shook. He looked at Bekele and said nothing. "You tried to take my wife," Bekele said. "That was wrong. Love is not something you steal. Go now and do not return." Dawit said nothing. He walked away slowly and never came back. From that day forward, Bekele and Hana lived a quiet, joyful life. They understood something very important. Real love is not about gold or clothes or even miracles. Real love is about trust, sacrifice, and staying true to each other. That was the greatest miracle of all. This is the end of the story of Bekele, Hana, and Dawit. Bekele was a poor man, but he was rich in love. He loved his wife, Hana, with all his heart. He gave her what he could. First, he gave her a dress. Then, he worked hard to give her gold. Finally, when she asked for a miracle, he prayed and he received one. Hana was a good woman, but she became confused. She listened to Dawit, the rich man, who told her lies. He said, "Your husband does not love you if he does not give you clothes, gold, and miracles." At first, she believed him. But later, she saw the truth. She realized that love is not about gifts. Love is about care, sacrifice, and honesty. Dawit, the rich man, had money and power, but he wanted more. He wanted to take another man's wife. In the end, he paid the price. He became a donkey and worked for years. When he turned back into a man, he was old and weak. He lost everything. True love is not about money. It is not about clothes or gold. It is about staying together when life is hard. It is about working, giving, and forgiving. In today's world, many people chase things: money, gifts, success. But sometimes, we forget to value love, kindness, and loyalty. Bekele had very little, but he gave his heart. That was the real treasure. You can use this lesson in your life too. Be kind, be honest. Work hard. Don't let outside voices confuse your heart. Stay true to those who love you. And now, congratulations. You listened to the full story in English. That is a big step. Your listening and understanding are improving. Be proud of yourself. Here's a fun question for you. What was the true miracle in this story? A. The magic sticks. B. Bekele's love and sacrifice. Please comment A or B below. And if you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Your support gives us the motivation to create more stories like this to help you learn English. If you would like to help even more, you can donate to our channel. This project is free, and in the beginning, it's very hard to keep going. But with your help, we can continue to bring meaningful emotional stories that make learning English easy and fun. Thank you from our hearts. Keep learning. Keep listening. Keep growing.